So they announced it, and I wasn't excited. Then they showed a preview of it in the fall, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. Maybe I do want one. And then in, was it February I think it was February, they had their final press release of showing everything about the Apple Watch. Everything you wanted to know about the Apple Watch, they showed that. We actually had it running on in the background and while we had class because it was on a Monday. And the things that really threw me off from wanting to get it were the battery life, 18 hours. On average use,
that's
average use. So if you use it heavily, especially when you first get a product, when you first get your phone, when you first get your iPad or something, you're using it a lot.
Oh boy!
And so
my data package, just loading.
Well,
stuff on.
It connects to it uses your phone as your data source. But as far as battery life, if you're using it more than average, you're going to get less than 18 hours. And so if you have, or if you just happen to have a heavy usage day, you're getting less than 18 hours worth of use out of it. Yeah, I mean, you could, if you wake up at 6 in the morning, unplug it, put it on your wrist, and you go until 8 at night.
Yeah.
You have a busy day. That's a 14-hour day. If you've used it a little more than normal that day also, your watch might be dead before you get home. And I thought, no. And the thing that ties with that is I really want, I used to have until I lost it at the airport, one of those activity bands, and it tracks your sleep. And I don't know why, I love being able to track my sleep, and it only tracks your activity throughout the day. Because it only has an 18-hour battery life, you could, but you can't really wear it at night. And they don't have anything set up in the software to track your sleep because it's got such a short battery life. And so those two things kind of combined, which are both related.
Yeah.
And they may not, the price point's a little high. They may not come down next year, but
but there'll be also upgrades and
it'll work better. I am assuming that they're already tackling the battery life issue for next year as well.
Well, we'll have to have Mophie's or something on.
Well, and they may make some programs that like connect with a Zelle or those kinds of things.
Yeah, I really think the battery life is really.
Let me see what's going on.
And I want to see how people. Morning, Bob.
Hey, Bob. Good to see you.
I really want to see how people respond to the first generation one, because it's still kind of in a weird place. No one, because Android watches have been out for a while.
What are we talking about?
Smartwatches. And
he did or didn't.
Yeah, I wanted to know whether or not I got one. No.
Did you buy one?
No watch. So I really want to see if they're going to stick around for a while also. So, and I think I would want to get the, because it comes in two sizes. There's a smaller.
Gold one?
I'm going to spend $10,000. I'm going to buy a new car.
Buy a $10,000 watch?
No. If I had, I don't even have that kind of money. So no, but there's two sizes. They've got the 38 millimeter and the 42 millimeter. So the actual size of the face of the. And I would think I'd want the larger one. I'm not sure, but I would think I would. And just by doing that, you automatically knock $50 up on the price. So.
But they're spending big bucks on ads.
Oh, I know.
Wow.
Yeah, of course, they make big bucks. It's merchandising.
But it must be doing. I don't know what their original production numbers were, but they are, because I just keep checking out of curiosity. But I open up the Apple Store app on my phone, and they are back ordered till July.
Watches.
Wow.
At least the sport edition, which is the smallest.
$10,000 ones.
Yeah, they might be a little more, but you never know. I mean, I haven't looked at those. I keep looking at the sport because that would be the one because it's the cheapest. And there's literally no difference in the watch itself between all the different models. What you're paying for is the quality of the band. Because the sport one is some kind of, I don't know if it's some kind of polyurethane or something. The sport's, sweat resistant, but it's a plasticky type feel to it. And then when you go to what is it? Anyway, so there's the sport edition. Then there's the regular one, which ranges anywhere from, I think it's $549 up to like $1,200 or something like that, depending on what band you get. And those vary in different kinds of metals and clasp styles and all that kind of stuff. So all that $1,000 price range is all based on your band. And then of course you get the 10,000, I think it's 10, 12, and 17,000, 10, 12, 15, and 17 for the gold edition.
Wow.
Yeah.
Too bad you can't get on a list to try it, like.
You can.
And get reviews for it, if they let you try it.
You can go to the store. You have been for the last month. For the last month, if you go to an actual Apple store, you can try it on and play with it. Yeah, you can't take it home and test it.
Well, you
Take a
should be
test
beta
drive.
tester though. System.
If we have time this morning, could we go over a primer on Facebook?
A primer on Facebook.
Well,
Just basics.
the basics again.
Oh, sure.
I have an easy question.
Yes.
Sure, but go ahead. Finish your.
Oh, so that's it.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
What's the question?
Okay,
No, he
yeah.
was just finishing up the Apple Watch discussion.
Yeah.
Not this year, maybe next year.
Can you get the
Probably a good idea.
watch
Are you on Facebook?
without the band and then buy your own band? No.
No.
You have to buy a band.
Yeah. So what you would do is, if you wanted, is you'd buy the sport version, which is the cheapest, and then you can buy any band you want, but you'd have to buy the sport version with the polyurethane or whatever style band it is, and then you could buy a more expensive one. But then if you did that, it would make sense to just get the one you want and pay it from the beginning. So no, you can't.
My question is about Avast
Yes.
on my PC at home.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I have the free version.
Yes.
Okay, so I get the reminder notice saying, okay, it's the email you need to renew. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, this time I'll do the pay version with $19.99.
Yes.
And so I registered and I paid through PayPal and I got the receipts and all that stuff. But now I'm still getting all these reminder notices as though nothing happened. And I'm wondering, how do I access, what do I do to look at the computer, PC, to find out if that paid version is running?
Yeah. So if you're getting notifications that it's out of date or the trial is over, then what you're most likely has happened, there's a good chance that the email that you received has a product or serial code in it. And you,
Confirmation number, because it's not the email that it's run out, it's the message on the computer
Right.
itself.
but when you said you purchased it and
Yeah.
they sent you an email confirming that you purchased it, in that confirmation email should be a serial code.
Okay,
proving that you paid for the product. And then you would go into the program, and somewhere in the program will be a place to enter that serial code. And then when you enter it, then it'll recognize that you paid for it, and the message will go away, and then you'll be able to update it to the newest version through its auto updater. Yeah. More features, and the virus definitions will update to the newest ones that they have. So that's what you would do, is check the email for
okay, and
for
so-
that serial code.
Okay, for the serial code. Okay,
Yes.
and then,
And it should be a string of anywhere between 16 and 24 alphanumeric characters.
okay. And then I take that and where do I put it?
Uh,
Because all it says is the message that comes up. Or if I hit the Avast icon, it's the same message about, signing up for, the free or the
mhm,
paid version.
right. So right click the A, so you have the little A icon in your tray down here in the bottom, is what it's saying. Select About Avast,
Okay,
and then click License Key, and then copy and paste it into the box, and click OK.
oh, great.
Just trying to see if there's an image, but
Okay, and that's just down here in the, right here.
yeah, there should be a little orange A there somewhere.
Okay.
And then maybe go to Settings, About, or something of that nature should get you. And then that should take care of it.
Okay,
Yeah, and if you can't find it, give me a call and I can
okay.
maybe walk you through it on the phone.
Maybe you had good luck with it, as far as you know.
Yeah,
As
as
it
far as
kept
I
you
know.
clean.
Yeah,
So, well, that's a good segue, because Bill had emailed, it was probably a month ago now.
We went to Mexico, so yeah.
Bill had sent me an email. He tried to attach a file to send, I believe, Pastor Steve and I, or maybe a larger group of people. And his
Oh,
Outlook, or I assume it was Outlook that you were using, or
yeah, MSN. yeah.
MSN, yes, there you go. Notified him that part of the attachment had been removed because it was contaminated.
It wouldn't let me send. It was,
Yeah.
it was either a group of names. I think it was a group of names.
Mhm.
And every once in a while, and it's happened before, where one of the names in there supposedly has a virus attached to it, or it says.
Right.
How can you find it? You know?
yeah.
So one of the things to prevent that is to have an active subscription of some kind of virus
Well, I have
software.
Sophos, which is active.
And then another so if you have one, try manually running a full system scan,
Okay.
which may take a while, depending on how large or not how large, but how full your system is. Because, for example, Bob has a large hard drive, but he doesn't have a lot on it. So it would actually be a fairly quick scan, because it only searches what's on there. So I'd try that. And then what I would try, and I've used this on several occasions, because sometimes, and that's why keeping it up to date is a good idea for your antiviruses, because people are developing new viruses all the time. And so you get those virus definition updates is what they're called. And they are the people who work on solutions to prevent you from even getting the newest viruses. So they discover the new viruses that people are throwing out there, that these hackers are throwing out there, and they develop antiviruses for them. And so these updates that you get on your system for that program keep you secure against the newest threats. So which is why it's always good to.
Brian, on my Windows,
Yes.
I no longer open any emails of any type unless I'm absolutely sure.
Right.
And I don't do any web searching on my Windows. The only site I go to is I go to CenturyLink to pick up from time to time. And then the other areas I go to are the numerous files that are in the computer, which is mostly in Works,
Right.
which is outdated.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have much risk of a virus in that situation?
You have a low risk, but one thing that we always have to keep in mind is that we are now persistently connected to the internet. Anytime your computer is on and open and connected to whether it's an Ethernet cord or Wi-Fi, you're connected to the
But
internet.
Can something come in if I don't go to a web page? Or
If
don't
someone
open a
is,
file?
and this is why I say it is a low risk, but if someone does happen to see that your computer's on, and how they find you, I don't know, and they realize that you've got a low security and just feel malicious, then they could attack you. But that is low because you don't visit a lot of websites, and there's probably not a lot of interest on your computer to
On
them.
the other side, I visit all kinds of websites and I open all kinds of email on my Mac.
Right.
And I don't think I've got any antivirus on here unless it came with it.
Macs are extremely low prone to receiving viruses because it's such a small market that most people make viruses for PC computers because they're so much more prolific.
I got an email from somebody and attached to it was a zip file. I couldn't open it in my Mac. I'm glad I couldn't because then I get an email 2 days later from that person saying that zip file was a virus that somebody had put in there. So I don't know whether it was because the virus was written for a Windows-based product or
Most likely.
I just didn't know how to open a zip file.
Yeah. And there are antivirus programs for the Mac. So if you are concerned, you can download one. In fact, so one of the things so you can do the scan with your built-in program. One of the things that I've had happen in the past to one of my computers is that the virus was smarter than the built-in scanner, and it was able to hide itself from the scanner. So I've used this website. It's called Housecall, or Trend Micro is the company, but this Housecall program, housecall.trendmicro.com. It's online, but you still have to download a little client for it. And then you choose whether you want the 32 or 64-bit version of it based on your operating system. So you'd have to find out whether you've got a 32 or 64-bit computer. And then it's a short download and it'll scan. And because it's gathering and running most of its information from the web, it's not really on the computer. So it's kind of like a third party, someone else coming in and looking at how well you built your shed. It's an outside view, not from the inside. And so viruses tend to not be as hidden. And so I've had this find stuff that my own scanner couldn't find. And I just ran it this morning.
Is it good to, just like so often I run Malwarebytes because it's kind of a third party and run it through.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing? Maybe it's a good thing to run occasionally?
Yeah,
Just to-
every, maybe once a
month,
quarter or something,
or
or
something,
once a
just
month,
to-
however, just
Pick up the
As-
stuff that's kind of.
that maybe your built-in antivirus skipped. Yep. Yeah, we just found Trojan isn't quite the evil name that it once was. Trojan viruses, they used to be oh my gosh, I have a Trojan at my computer's dead. It's not quite the case anymore, but we just found one on Kathy's computer last week because her subscription had expired. And so somehow in that short expiration period. She had a Trojan on attached to Adobe Acrobat, one of the programs or one of the files associated with her Adobe Acrobat program. So, so this is kind of outside looking in. And Bob, I did just notice today, because I haven't used this for a couple months, that if you look down here, they actually now have House Call for Mac. So if you don't want to download a full program, but you want to try running this once in a while just to see how.
So I wasn't paying a lot of attention when you were going through that because it's not my application.
Right.
But what is that, kind of a utility program? It's scanned?
It'll scan for viruses. It's you have to download a small little program, but it does everything from the web. It grabs all of its information, all of its antivirus scans from Trend Micro's website. And so it'll scan for viruses for your computer. And now they have a Mac version 1.
So you recommend I use that?
I would say
Trend what?
Trend housecall.trendmicro.
Trend Micro.
Yeah, .com. It only takes a few minutes, and it won't do any harm, and it could potentially do some good.
Does it tell you how many viruses
Yeah.
you encountered?
Yeah. So mine was 0 threats encountered. So here's the little program, little house.
So just go through and follow the instructions.
Yeah, it's real quick. So this is what it'll do essentially. You click on it.
Is there a fee for this?
Nope, House Call's a free.
How do they make their living?
They have a, for home and for business, full suite of,
Michael's been around.
yeah, of software. So, well, that's for business. We don't want business. But so they've got antivirus, they've got firewall protection, all different kinds of things like that. So antivirus will protect you from viruses that are already, or it'll scan for viruses that are already on your computer. Firewall protection protects your network from being hacked. So your like if you have a wireless network in the house, or from being attacked or hacked. So here you go. So get started. So then you just click scan now, and it.
And what if they find a virus? Then do they sell you a program to get rid of it?
No, it actually it'll, if it can, it'll try to fix it.
Or it'll put it into quarantine zone.
This one I don't know if House Called. I just don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, typically what happens is with a traditional antivirus is it will either quarantine it, meaning it'll put it in jail so that it can't access your computer anymore, but it, for one reason or another, it doesn't think it needs to, or the file can't be deleted. So it quarantines it so that it can no longer access any other part of your computer, or it'll delete it if it feels there's no reason your computer will be negatively impacted. Because some viruses do attach themselves to program files, or even maybe a system file that makes your system run. And so it'll quarantine that file so that your system will still run, but that file won't be able to interact with other files and infect those. So here it goes. It's going to scan. Here's the little threats found section right here. And then it'll share results at the end. And I have none. So that's all you do. It's pretty easy. And it's just kind of an extra, how's my antivirus software doing and keeping me protected?
Yeah. Great.
But
Thanks.
you don't want too many that conflict with each other.
No,
One.
As an actual one that is on your computer, this House Call is different, but
House call is kind of a.
yeah, it's a little outside. But for actual, you never want more than one running. You really don't want more than one even installed. Because even if you have one installed, but the other one's your main one that's really working and up to date, they can conflict with each other. And when they do that, then they're not performing their job as well as they should. And typically when that happens is when when you buy a new computer, it comes with all this preloaded software, which the new term is bloatware. But it causes the computer to be cheaper because these companies are paying to have their stuff, these trial versions put on. So you have a trial version of Norton antivirus on there for 30 days. And then you go and you buy a Vast or Trend Micro, or we have FPROT here at the church. And you install that, but you don't uninstall that trial version of Norton. It could cause some issues. And so it's always good to erase the old
When they give you a
version.
trial version, do they give you the whole program in there, but they've got a turn off date?
Yep. There's
So
a kill
when
switch.
you buy it, all they do is eliminate that turn off date, I imagine.
Well, they extend it for
Whatever the
1 to
contract
2
is,
years. Yeah. Typically it's a 1 to 2 year contract.
Okay, so my new computer, it had McAfee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I keep getting these, but I've got a Vast. Okay, I keep getting these reminder notices from McAfee saying, it's expired, it's expired.
Yeah.
What's it doing? Do I need to do something?
It's
with
still
it?
trying to run.
Ah,
It's still running. It's out of date and it's expired, but it's still running.
okay.
So you would go into your control panel and you would uninstall a program, go to programs, uninstall program, and you'd find it in this list here. These are all the programs that are installed on your computer,
Oh,
and you would uninstall it.
At least they're alphabetic. Most,
Yes, they're alphabetical.
except yours. Well, those are down near the bottom.
Yeah.
wow, that's good to know.
Yep. So if there's anything you've ever installed on your computer in the past that you don't ever use anymore, or you installed it and decided to go with a different product and installed that product instead, this is where you go to uninstall programs.
This is on Windows though.
Yeah, with a Mac, you would,
You want to find her?
no, you go to the little launcher, the little rocket ship, and I think you literally just drag the program to the trash can. There should be a little silver circle with a rocket ship inside on your launcher bar at the bottom. It should be right next to the Finder. At least that's where mine. That little launcher takes you to all your pre-installed or all of your installed programs.
Launchpad.
Yeah, Launchpad.
Yeah, that, there it indicates all the programs I've got.
Yep, and I think you just literally drag it to the trash can, and
All
it'll.
the program?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it, that's easy.
Yep. There might be another way, but that's how I learned to do it with our Mac at home.
Hi, this is really helpful.
So yeah, you only ever want. In fact, some antivirus software that I've had in the past have forced me to uninstall my old program before it would even install the new one. It says we've detected we've detected you have McAfee running on your system. Please uninstall before continuing with this installation.
Especially those, sometimes they require you to turn off your, blocker. When you're working with.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, something triggered that thought. Maybe you're trying to download something or,
Yeah.
So you do it or you do it for this file only.
Yeah.
Because you're opening the door when you.
Yep. Yeah, they have that on the Mac as well. You can, because when they came out with the App Store for the Mac, kind of like with the phone, you can only download programs for the iPhone through the App Store. They have that for the Mac now. And most programs that you try to install from the internet, they won't let you. And so you have to temporarily disable that feature to be able to install those third-party applications that aren't verified. which is why you get those little pop-ups on your PC that says this program's trying to be installed on your computer. Even though you clicked on it and said, you know, I'm trying to install this. It's a way of preventing, say, a virus from installing something on your computer or some kind of malware that's trying to hijack information. That's why those pop-ups appear. They're annoying sometimes, but they do that so that you know what you're installing, and that if that pops up and you didn't double click on something to install a program like Skype or, you know, Microsoft Office, and it tells you what it's installing, and you said, I don't know what that is, you just click cancel and it won't install it. So it can be annoying at times, but it's actually quite helpful. So one of the other things that Bill had asked to talk about was, and this works for, it's different, but it works for both PC and, or not PC, both for iPhones and Android phones, and for the iPad as well, is to limit the number and types of programs that run in the background.
Yeah, you keep turning on and it's got all these stuff that's running.
Yeah. So one of the simplest.
Even if you just,
Yeah.
it's
So
still running?
there's two levels, I guess would be a better way to put it, of handling this kind of background app stuff. So you've got the double click, which will then bring up these, and then you just swipe up to get rid of them.
Mhm.
And now the only thing running is my home screen and my settings.
Right.
So now we're back to settings. So that's level one. And that'll help free up memory, memory in the terms of how much stuff you can do, or how intensive of one thing you can do on your phone or your tablet. So that's level one. Level two is if you go to settings, general, and then scroll about halfway down, there is a tab there called background app refresh. You'll see it right in the dead center of the screen.
No, that's on the XP or the Windows,
No, this is for an iPad or an iPhone.
but not a MacBook.
No, a Mac, the
So
PC's,
you're on the phone, you're on settings?
yeah, settings, general, and then halfway down that, if you scroll halfway down, there should be a tab called background app refresh. And what that is say you have a weather app installed, your weather, and you have the background app refresh turned on for that, that means the weather is going to be constantly gathering information so that when you open the app, it's going to have the most current temperature for you right then and there, instead of waiting. So the way it used to work, because this is, I don't know if this was in 7 or 8, but it was not in 6. I know that for sure. Before, let's say in iOS 6, you would open the weather app, and then you would sit and wait for it to download the information from the internet, and then it would refresh on your phone. Now, you typically open the weather app, and it already has,
Right.
you know, 11:38 p.m., it's 56 degrees. You know that right then and there. That's because background app refresh is on.
So see, the only background app refresh I've got on is the stock market. I don't have the weather, but I still get the weather coming up.
It'll come up. It just takes that much longer.
So it's not being refreshed.
Yeah, while you're not using it. So
Right.
this is happening while you're not using it. So I have it turned off completely on my iPad.
Well, it says here that it uses up more battery.
Yes, yeah, it says right there. It'll use up more memory and more battery. So if you want to preserve your battery life more, you can either completely turn the background app refresh off by this toggle switch at the very top, or if you want it on for certain apps, then you turn it on, and then these individual apps here, you would then toggle with
But
their.
when I go into the app, whether this is on or off, it's going to refresh.
Yeah, it'll periodically
Yeah, once I've been.
pull information. So you can, so now I've turned it on. So now each individual one has a toggle. So you can pick which ones, pick and choose what auto refreshes in the background if you do want some to. Or like I have on my phone, I have it turned on because my phone's a new phone and so it's running smooth and fast with everything. But with my iPad, I just turn the whole thing off. And then it's not trying to gather any information in the background without me loading the application first.
Okay. So on the phone,
Chrome's a search.
okay.
Whether you want, it's a Google search.
So if I don't want these running, I just push,
You just tap them.
tap it.
Yep.
Okay.
Dictionary. would be
There you go.
your
Oh, okay,
type,
great. Oh, yeah, okay. There's a lot of stuff I don't want to keep running. Yeah.
Yeah, and another one, let's see if we can find it.
Good, that's really helpful.
Yeah, so there's that. Another one that I think would be helpful for you is if you switch from the general tab down to the privacy one,
Okay.
at the top of that is location services. These are all the applications. Again, you have the universal on-off toggle. And then, or you can do them individually.
Okay, yeah.
And these are programs that are using your location, and you can see that they've got different while using, always, never, etc., letting you know when it is trying to access your location. So
Mine just uses never or always, not the.
while using, yeah.
But that's okay.
So you can pick and choose and individually decide, and you can just completely turn it off and just say, I don't want my phone to ever know where I'm located.
It's under privacy.
All right.
You know, and that,
Well, especially like this iPad is not Wi-Fi, it's an real old one, and so there's no reason to,
or
if you're not gonna be.
data. It's got Wi-Fi, but not data. Yeah. Yep. And some people do it for privacy reasons, which is why,
Location service.
so you can decide how much or how little you want your phone to use your current location. And again, that also if it's on always, then that's running in the background, which then will also take up, it probably isn't a huge amount, but less so, I think, than the background app refresh one, but it still uses some battery. Obviously, if it's always doing something, then it's gonna suck up some battery from.
Just
Wow,
before we
look at
went to
that.
Mexico, I was gonna take my iPad and then I got a tab. And the tab was just frozen. So we went over to Verizon and they had to do a soft reboot,
Yeah.
you know, because it was just locked up, but who knows why. And that's another thing that people should know about is how to do a soft reboot.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that real
I
quick
mean,
on
of
that.
course, iPhones are different than Android, but they're very similar.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's the little, for anyone who, I think all of us here in the room are iPhone friendly, but for Android, here's a little web page for how to, oops, switch. For how to enable or disable the background app refresh. So you'd open the app from your home screen, settings, so there's this force stop button when you open up the app in your settings, and you can force it to stop running in the background. And that's for an Android.
And of course, every time you go in and force stop some of that stuff that's going on, it says, well, if you do, it may affect your, but,
Yes, yes,
I mean,
yes.
it's just a
Yep.
generic.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think there's even an app on the Apple, or not Apple, on the Google Play Store that will take you to all your running apps, and then you can mass force quit them.
Okay, did I miss anything? I was turning off everything.
We were discussing Android phones and tablets.
Wow, that was really more good information. Brian, you're just a wealth.
So yeah, so there's some steps on how to do it from androiddevices.com.
So what was it that you were, the soft what?
Soft,
Oh, a soft reset.
Reboot.
Yeah.
Reset.
So if your phone's ever frozen or your tablet,
This applies to iPhone also.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, this is specific to an iPhone. So if your phone's frozen, if it's
Or just not.
if it's
doing
just
much.
yeah, if it's
Just
not doing what it's supposed to be
log down.
doing, and you just can't figure out, you know, for some reason maybe your cellular data is not working. You know, you're trying to load a website and you're out shopping, and it's just you have signal, but it just keeps going page not found or page can't display or something, and you can't figure it out. You've tried turning airplane mode on and off to try to toggle it. A soft reset will reset the phone's phone settings. It won't reset your settings because now
That's not
it's
hard.
basically a computer in your phone. Your phone's a computer. So I'm trying to reassure you that it's not going to reset all the settings on your phone. It's just going to reset your carrier settings, your AT&T or your Verizon or some of that basic stuff. And so what you do is you hold down the lock button.
At the top?
Yes, yours is on top.
Yeah.
Mine's on the side.
The lock button.
You're locked.
The lock button, the button on the top that toggles
Turns it on or off.
There's a power off.
this one
Oh,
that turns the power on and off
okay,
or pops open that.
okay.
So you would hold that and the home button at the same time.
The home button is the big one at the bottom?
I use two hands.
Yeah.
Thumb on the the home button is the physical button. So you hold those down
Okay.
until you see the Apple logo again. There you go. Now you can let go. And now
Okay.
you've just soft reset your phone.
Oh, be doggone.
So if I've had my phone freeze before. In fact, it froze while I was in line at Starbucks.
Oh,
And I had
crises.
it was because I got a free birthday coupon on my
Oh
phone
my gosh, yeah.
from Starbucks, and I was the next person in line, and she's like, "What do you want?" And I told her, and she said, "All right, it's so and so much." And I said, "Well, I have it on my." No, and I almost got out of line. It was the one at Pikes Pier, you know, the original one. Line out the door, and I was like, I don't want to have to wait in line again. I don't really want to. I mean, I'll pay for it if I have to, but I was here to get my free drink. But it loaded fast enough that I was able to get it. And that was in the days of iOS 7 when it
So
had all
when
those
do I hold
glitches.
those two buttons down at the same time? Anytime
What do you mean
to
when?
reset? If it's on now, I can just. hold-
Yeah, whether it's locked, whether you have it open, you're in an app, because if it freezes in an app, that's when you can do it. You just hold them down. It's usually about 10 seconds, but most of the time you just do it until you see that Apple
So
logo
now it just
reappear.
went off.
You have to do it. Did you do it for 10 seconds? You keep doing it till you see the little, the Apple logo.
Yeah.
You keep doing it till that appears. Because otherwise you may have just relocked your phone and the screen would go black. So you just keep doing it till the little Apple logo appears. And that'll solve a lot of basic issues.
See, I think on Android, it's volume down and
Yeah.
volume down and home. No, they told me. And Kim Commander had it on hers recently too.
One of the ways it sets a soft reset is to just This is how you used to do it before you had built-in batteries, is you just pull the battery out.
Yeah.
Okay, power on, off.
So what happened? You were in line, so you paid for it?
No,
He was
I
able to.
I was
reboot it.
able to do a soft
Okay,
reset and it
okay.
unfroze the phone and I got my
Crises,
I got my free chai tea latte. So, a hard reset. I don't know if there is a way to do a hard
Battery out?
reset with it. No, you can't.
You
Everything's
can't take
built
the
in.
battery out of
No,
this thing.
you can't. Well, you could, but
Not easily.
No, then you're gonna reset everything and.
yeah, a hard
program
reset
and-
restores your phone to factory settings, and there's a way to do that. You would go to settings, general, and then all the way to the bottom is
Yeah.
a reset. And there's different options for resetting in your phone. You can reset all settings. You can erase all content in settings, which is a hard reset. You can reset your keyboard dictionary, different kinds of things. So you can go in there and I wouldn't really play around with that, but you can look around and see what kind of settings that you can reset. So,
Okay.
yeah, so those are those options. All right, so we've got about 12 minutes to
Bob wanted to
answer
talk to
some
me.
questions about Facebook for Bob.
No, I don't think we're gonna get that.
No.
What,
Okay, so here's a couple of questions.
yeah,
How do I access older postings? And part of that is copying the video, but I got a video some time ago and I wanted to copy it somewhere. Couldn't figure that out, but now it's old and it doesn't appear on my
who's it
timeline.
from? I mean, it's not it's not something you posted.
No, it was posted by somebody who was at the wedding for my grandson. And it was a nice one, it was a video, and I don't remember her name, but.
Yeah. So, well, the way the timeline works, my understanding, I really don't use Facebook that often, is you literally just keep scrolling downward and it'll keep loading new.
Forever?
Yeah. You see, I get to the bot. See how it,
Yeah,
oh, you can't see
Yeah,
it.
search, huh?
I don't know.
I don't have the search line.
Well,
Well,
that
it
would
says
be-
search.
And
up
search Facebook, so,
there for
but
friends,
you,
yeah.
but you don't know, well, you can search other things. Let's see if let's Google it, or actually I'm using
It'd take a long
DuckDuckGo. Let's
time, 'cause I
DuckDuckGo.
scroll down and I'm only back.
Yep. Well, yeah,
Amazing.
I mean, you've got a couple hundred friends and everyone
But
posting.
can you search by any means other than just scrolling forever?
Did you put it on your timeline or was it just general Facebook stuff?
I don't know, it appeared on my timeline.
Let's see what
Somebody
DuckDuckGo.
attached it to your timeline.
Say again?
Somebody attached it to your
Yes.
timeline. Okay, well then.
I see what you're saying, it goes to the bottom and it just keeps going.
Yeah, it looks like you can, but you have to be specific.
But I mean, like here, I scrolled down probably 10 times, started over, and I'm only back to May 1st.
Yep.
So if I want to go back to March, I'm going to keep doing this all day long.
What if you put it back, the date?
What do you put date, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, try, so under the search it looks posts from March 2nd. I don't know if it will work.
There it is.
There, March 6th,
Oh,
March
okay.
10th.
So you can jump back, hey, that's good.
Well, where did you find that
Well,
again?
just type it
The
in.
little search box up here. But I did a little search, and it says all of these little images that they have showing here. This one says post written at the White House. This one says my post from last year.
And
So
where-
both of them started with the word post. So I figured,
Okay, where did you find the search button?
oh, it's at the very top, right up here.
Oh, okay, oh, there. Oh,
Right there.
okay,
It's
the
always there.
regulars.
Yep, the regular search button
Okay.
box.
Oh, I'll be doggone.
So now I'm back in February. Just set for March 2nd.
Too far. Too far.
That's great. Okay.
January 1st. They're all kind of scattered in, but anyways, up in that field, so I can just go back to home now and
Yeah.
take it back to my current timeline.
Yeah. Or if you, you know, I don't know if they put the name of the wedding, you know, in
Oh, so
the,
I could put a name in there, I could,
person.
like Rose Papa Wedding.
yeah, post from Rose Papa Wedding and see if that, you know, just like when you do on Google, sometimes your first, the way you word it the first time may not yield the right results. Just yesterday, I was looking up ideas for raised garden beds, and I must have searched half a dozen different wordings, and each time, sometimes I got some of the same results, but each time I got slightly different results based on how I worded raised garden bed, whether I used DIY or ideas or you know, instructions. Each one gave me a couple different results, so I could see what was up there.
You're right, it's, taking a while to load some of the photographs, but they're there. I just said post from Rose Papa Wedding. I'm getting all kinds of postings there.
Oh,
There you go.
that is terrific.
I figured there probably had to be. I just haven't. I haven't had the need, and I honestly don't spend much time on Facebook anymore. I just haven't invested much time in it.
So then there's some great photographs here. I can then copy those.
Yeah. So here's a picture from looks like my brother. Oh, I'm good, thank you. Must have been yesterday because it says 20 hours ago. Went golfing. Here's a beautiful picture of him golfing. So you click on the picture. Click on the. No, you should just click on the picture. Let's try this picture of him golfing. There we go. And then options download.
And that would work with a video or?
I don't know. Let's see if we. So do you see this, Bob? You click on the image. So now it pulls up this bigger and then bigger version of it. And then down here it says options. And then you click download. And you can download the photo.
Okay, download it anywhere I want.
Onto your computer, yeah. And then you can specify where you can specify.
Oh, I can open up, yeah.
Yep.
Got it, got it.
Let's see if we can find a video. Here's a video. My sister-in-law, so my niece is right there, I think. Yep, there's my niece holding the American flag. It does not look like you can I mean, you might be able to. You may be able to download a program from the internet to allow you to download videos.
YouTube video, no problem. Well,
No, this is
I didn't-
uploaded directly to
Oh, okay, I
Facebook,
see.
so it's Facebook's own player.
Okay.
Share. I don't think share would do anything. No. So it does not look like you can download videos, Bob, without a third-party application. Just like there's all kinds of YouTube download programs that even though you're not supposed to, they have these programs that allow you to do it. Or you can always send the person a Facebook message if you find that post and say, can you send me this video?
Okay, how would they do it differently than,
They'd email it to you.
email
Yeah.
rather than?
Email or share it via Dropbox if they've got Dropbox, depending on the size of the file. Or Google Drive or OneDrive, you can share files. I've been doing that lately for some reason. My PowerPoint slideshows for worship on Sunday mornings have been larger than 25 megs.
Oh.
And so I've been sharing them via
finally
Google
got it.
Drive.
I remember when you didn't do that, but
Yeah. Yeah.
It really adds
So.
to the sermon, I think, or it really accents the
Yeah.
point you're trying to make.
So anyway, yeah, it doesn't look like you can download videos, Bob.
Okay.
It's neat.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just a matter of remembering how this.
Is this the brother that's on the medical school?
Yeah, I know. He's golfed yesterday, apparently. I haven't talked to him in a couple days.
His free time is about ready to expire.
Well.
Well,
Yeah, so Evans, I can't download videos.
No, so
You're showing me how to take them very simply out of a search on
yeah,
Facebook and put them someplace else, which I just did.
You put it into a file or?
I did. I downloaded it to
Or
iPhoto and then.
the-
I put it
the
in a
photos,
file
yeah.
called Post Papa Web.
Good, good.
Yep.
See
They're
Kevin's picture and his new bride.
And there's a beautiful picture of my 18-year-old granddaughter who is now dating a guy who's 24 years old and has got a child. And her father is
Or
the
did not
grandfather
load.
of both, you know.
there, there.
Oh, neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a sweetheart. They have here's the
Oh, cool.
I wonder if they've posted pictures on here. They have he loves fishing. Fly fishing. There it is. They got a puppy.
Look at all the wrinkles.
Yeah, he's so cute.
It'll grow into his ears someday.
Yeah, yeah. Got him from the pound. I mean, he looks. He's a mutt. He's not a. But yeah, he looks like a. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. But yep. So. All right. Any 30-second questions? All right. I have no idea why the video is so dark today. Might have to. Oh, it was the angle. Oh, well. It's gonna be a dark video for anyone who joins us or watches this afterwards.
So we just click anywhere on that photo, as I recall.
Yeah, you just click on the photo to enlarge it, and then it'll bring up the little menu at the bottom for you to be able to download the video or the
You know,
picture.
I've done it a different way, but this way is so much easier.
I think it's a lot. Yeah. So.
Well, and sometimes you see a picture you like to use.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times people, send good pictures, who knows where.
Yeah, they do. There's some good stuff on there. All right. Well, that'll do it for today.